Alright everyone, so after the kick-assness that was the Dream Warriors, we get its follow-up, Dream Master, which is another kick-ass movie in my opinion. I really like Dream Master. I don't like it as much as Dream Warriors, but I do like Dream Master in its own right. This movie is directed by Rennie Harlin, and I always found Rennie Harlin to be a extremely underrated director. I like his over-the-top visual style. I like Die Hard 2. I like Deep Blue Sea. So I like his visual style. He gives his movies a nice, kinetic, frenetic energy. And as Robert Englund said in the Never Sleep Again documentary, Rennie Harlin with this movie created that MTV nightmare. And you see that with the insane visuals and that that poppy hip 80s style is so in this movie, and this movie's covered in 80s cheese that it's so good. It's so good to watch. So yeah, from a visual standpoint, this movie looks great. I like a lot of the dream sequences are really creative. I especially like the one where Freddy turns one of the characters into a bug, because this character has a bug phobia. So pretty much Freddy turns her into a bug and then kills her while she's inside a roach house, which is great. I like the scene where he kills this asthmatic girl, which is actually kind of a creepy scene because he literally just sucks the life out of her. So it was really creepy to watch that. But that was a cool death though. I like the scene where he and this character Rick have like a little not kung fu, but a little karate scene going on, and I thought that was pretty good. Of course, that could have been done a whole lot better. Instead of what was originally done with it, and they were going to do a lot more, but studios and producers were like, oh no, cut down on that karate stuff. Be more like Chuck Norris. It's like, ugh, whatever. But still a fun scene. I like the new characters that are introduced. I like the character of Dan, I like the character of Daniel, that all-American, that jockey guy. I like the character of Rick, who is who comes across as like this, as the funny guy. The character of Alice, she's good. She's a good final girl, good heroine as well. Yeah, those to me, those are my three standouts. Of course, we got returning cast members of Kincaid and Joey and Kirsten, and this is where my problems for this movie begin. I don't like the fact that Joey and Kincaid were killed off so damn early. I would have preferred if they would have went a little longer. I'm okay with them dying, but I'm not okay with them going out early. And along with that, if you're gonna have them go out early, they were important to the last movie. Why would you let them go out and not, have them give Freddy a fight? I mean, before Kincaid's death, he kind of sort of gave Freddy a little bit of a fight, but it didn't really mean much because it didn't really faze him. So Kincaid just goes out like a chump, and Joey just goes out like a bitch. He sees a bitch in his waterbed and he drowns in the waterbed. Goes out like a chump stain. So yeah, Joey and Kincaid were, in my opinion, terribly mishandled in terms of their death, and they're barely in the movie to begin with, which sucks. Because Kincaid's awesome. But he did have some cool lines, like, "Eat that motherfucker," or my dog's like me. He attacks when he's being pissed off too, or something like that. Kincaid does still have that Kincaid humor that I love from Nightmare 3, and Joey still has that weakness for women, which I can sympathize with him. So that's all good. But the main problem to me is Tuesday night as Kirsten. In Nightmare 3, I like the whole development of Kirsten, from how we saw her as this weakly, timid girl, and as the movie progresses, she got stronger and stronger and stronger. And Patricia Arquette just had that lovable charisma to her. Tuesday night, to me, who replaces Patricia Arquette, she is just bland. She is stock. She is wooden in her delivery. To me, she has zero on-screen charisma. She has, for the brief scene that she interacted with Joey and Kincaid, the chemistry was not there. I wasn't buying her relation and the chemistry that she had with Rick and Dan and Alice. I wasn't buying that either. I just don't care for Tuesday Night as an actress. To me, she's no Patricia Arquette had that likable charisma to her, and I really wish they would have got her back. And in my opinion, the first half of this movie suffers with that because you're pretty much following Kirsten for that first half of the movie, and she's just, to me, Tuesday Night, nothing against her personally, but as an actress, she's a charisma vacuum. She just doesn't have that. She doesn't have that charm to her that Patricia Arquette had, which is why I was glad they actually did kill off her character. And of course when Kristen dies, she kind of transfers her powers over to Alice. And this is where Alice takes center stage, and this is where Alice becomes an interesting character, because after every death of her friend, Alice kind of absorbs their characteristic and their trait. Like when Kristen dies, she absorbs Kristen's power to pull people into the dreams. All right. When the asthmatic girl dies, she absorbs, kind of like her knowledge in a way. When, this girl Debbie dies, she absorbs her thing. And when her brother Rick dies, she absorbs his ability to fight. So after every death, she absorbs like one of their powers. And it's almost like Mario, how a different mushroom gives Mario different powers. Kind of plays like that. Every death gives Kristen different powers, so I was digging that. I thought that was pretty cool. And Lisa Wilcox has got that that girl next door vibe to her, which is, to me, works perfectly in a Nightmare movie, because you need to have that kind of a girl next door, middle America type heroine. So that's all fine and good. Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger, always great. Of course, Dream Master is the beginning of the comedic Freddy. This is where Freddy is in full-blown, jokester mode, yet still fun to watch. And I do like how I do like his witty retorts. I like his one-liners. I like there's this one sequence where Alice sees herself as an old lady, and Freddy's like, "If the food won't kill you, the service will." So yeah, Freddy's got a lot of funny bits here. He's got a lot of funny bits. I also like the scene where he sees Kirsten drowning in quicksand. He puts on sunglasses and he has that Tom Cruise 80s moment going on. So yeah, Freddy and Robert Englund as Freddy in this movie is fun to watch. He is good. What else do I got? And once again, like Dream Warriors, this movie boasts a killer soundtrack. Dream Master's got an awesome, rock, heavy metal soundtrack. We got bands like Dramarama with Anything, which is a killer track, killer song, a really good song. We got, Sinead O'Connor's, Put Your Hands on Me or something like that. Not a bad song. Not a bad. I would never have thought in a million years that I would actually listen to Sinead O'Connor or even like a song by her. But that song is musically, it's very catchy. It's a very catchy song musically. I was kind of digging the music for it. But you also got some good rock and roll. You got some good rock and roll, alternative rock peppered throughout the movie also, which greatly enhances that MTV feel of the movie, which makes it stand out from the rest of the movies, which was awesome because it gives it a distinct personality. And of course, Freddy's demise in this movie is also interesting. So in 2, he dies with the power of love. In 3, it's the power of God. And in 4, he dies by seeing his reflection in the mirror. Because it plays on the whole Dream Master concept that they were going for in this thing. So you know what? Whatever. I'll buy it. And that's pretty much Freddy's demise. And that's pretty much the end of this review. So when all said and done, Dream Master is still a great movie. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10. I stand by my issues with it, but at the same time, I stand by all the praise I give it because it deserves more praise than it does hatred. Because this movie is fun. This is a fun nightmare movie, and you can clearly tell that the team behind the camera were relishing in making this movie stand out and look great. And you can tell that Robert Englund was having the ball with this material. Anyway, I'm AJ Legend. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll check you back next time for more.